Restoration is very important and it's part and parcel of protecting our cultural heritage, our history. And it's our role to have qualified cadres to shoulder this very critical responsibility. Now we do have one of our specialists who are responsible for that, and I think he has a lot to speak about, and in fact I do have a lot of questions to him. We are very much delighted to have with us Dr. Rahman Medhat, one of our specialists in restoration. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you. It's really my pleasure to be in front of you and to be with you today.
Just before recording, I was asking you about the difference between restoration and
Conservation.
conservation.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Conservation is the new name for this field, because restoration means you make intervention, whatever this intervention is, mechanical or chemical, but conservation is more general because it includes the restoration with the intervention and also the passive conservation, which means that we stabilize the object for display, we monitor all the environment around it, the climate around it, and we are focused on to make it steady, in steady state and stable. And we have some parameters we put in our mind, like relative humidity, like temperature, like ultraviolet. All of this should be put in mind when we dealing with cultural heritage material in conservation science.
Then let me know more about the job of conservation.
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing it right?
Yeah, yeah,
This is
sure.
conservation here in the museum. I mean, we do have, I think, departments. I mean, some specialists are concerned with the stone pieces, others with the jewelry, others with the papyra, you name it. Tell me more about the
Yeah.
specialties we have.
So we have here the conservation department in the Egyptian Museum, and the conservation department have some duties. The first one is to stabilize the object for display. The second is to make intervention when the object needs that. And the third, to making a passive conservation and to monitor the relative humidity, the temperature, the UV, all the parameters effect on the cultural heritage material. Inside the labs that we have many specialization. We have more than conservator. Everyone is specialized in material.
Specific material.
Yeah, some of them specialized in, we can divide it generally, organic material, like wood, papyri, bone, mummy, and the other inorganic material like stone, metals, glass.
You said a very important point that one of your duties is to intervene when there is something which needs to, I don't know, to restore or to conserve in a way. When I will decide that this piece really now it cannot be on display anymore and it should enter the lab.
Yeah, this is depends in every day here.
Every day?
Every day. We're making something like
A
a tour, and we're making the visual examination for the objects. And depend on that, if we feel or we observe something appears on the cultural heritage material, whatever is the material, we ask it to make conservation for it.
But
So there is a periodical
Dr.
examination.
Abdel, I think that this is very, not critical, very accurate. I mean, you should have such an eye to know well if there is even the slightest change in any of the objects you have. And whenever you are a specialist in certain material, then you should know every single particle, every single even touch without touching it. How much time you should need to have this full experience? And if you permit me, are we all here Egyptians?
Yeah, all of us are Egyptians, and it's as you mentioned, in fact you hit the point. So you know the secret now of conservation. It depends on the accumulative experience. So every day your eyes see the objects, and you have this accumulated experience inside your mind. You can decide after some time when this object needs really the intervention and when it needs the conservation. But also we depend on some methods for examination, and this is very important, but all of them is non-destructive. So we have some kind of photos And these photos not the normal photos we take. Of course, this is important, but also we're working with something called the multispectra imaging, which using the UV, the ultraviolet, the infrared, and the normal light in a special condition to assessment the stability of the objects here in the museum.
I don't know if this is going to be a little bit far from the museum here or from our topic. You know, long ago, I think more than 50 years ago, one of our kings went to France as a mummy.
Yeah.
And he was the only mummy who had a passport.
Yeah.
And he went to France. He was Ramses II, I
Ramses
think.
II, exactly.
And he went there to have some kind of treatment, if I may call it this way, because I consider them alive. Despite the fact that they died thousands of years ago, but still they do have a life of their own. If something like that happened today, will we need to go to a laboratory outside Egypt, or no, we have the qualified cadres or the modern labs to have the job as a story of success?
In fact, we can do that now, and we touch that. And let me tell you that we have here something is very specialized, and it's something like a fingerprint in the Egyptian Museum, that we have a CT scan lab, and this is very important. So you can make CT scan for the most important thing, the mummies, or the most well-known thing is the mummies. And second, also we have some programs, and through these programs we can imagine really the face and the shape and the body of the king or any mummy. And also we have DNA lab, and this is very important too, to understand the ancient Egyptian life for kings and the normal people. So yes, we have this technology and we have the labs, and we can do that now in Egypt 100%.
And simply we do have the DNA.
Yeah, we have.
They are our ancestors.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I felt now that when you deal with a mummy, for example, you feel that you deal with one of your relatives' mummy, one of your relatives' body. So your care, your way of dealing with it is different than the foreigners. I don't know if this is right or wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course, this is true, but all of people working on conservation is working according to charters from UNESCO, so we have a protocol for our work. But also, you mentioned very important point, that when I'm dealing with that, it's my civilization, it's mine.
Yeah.
So there are another DNA relation between the mummy and the conservator or the person who work on CT scan, while the working is Egyptian with an Egyptian. So I think this is playing a very important role.
And this is the relation we have, and I think the latest scientific research said that our genome is the same for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Thousands of years. We are fully Egyptians.
We are pure Egyptian.
Pure Egyptian.
Yeah.
Amen to that. What objects or what material is more difficult in conservation? I mean, wood is more difficult than stone, or stone is more difficult than organic materials, or wood?
It's a very tricky question, but what I can say is that it depends on the case of the material. So maybe sometimes people classifying normally that organic material is difficult than the inorganic material. But I don't think that's true. I think it is a case.
Yeah.
Because conservation is case study. So when we focus on the case study, there are not a case like a case. So it depending on the case. So we can say depending on the case we have.
Okay, let me give our viewers an example. Let me know about one of the very difficult cases you have been examining.
I think it's one of the mummy portrait. It's a mummy, and then it's wrapping with a lot of linen, and on the face there are wood, and also they drawing the face on the wood. So we was focused to know if this face first is for the person really or not, and the second thing it's to making conservation for it to stop deterioration. So we depend on integrated approach for that. We start with making a documentation, with different kind of documentation like the multispectral imaging. Then we going to the CT scan, and then we trying to know, depending on some softwares, is this face representative for this
Yeah.
mummy or not, and then we become sure that it's for this mummy, and then we're going to making the step of conservation, and it took a lot of time, and it
Sure.
was really a very
Complicated process.
process, and really very important study case.
Yeah. Um, Also, now I think after spending those years experiencing mummies and experiencing pieces and stuff like that, I think now I'm not going to say it's easy, but at least it's something which can be reached to know, for example, this mummy, according to the way of mummification, belongs to the dynasty number 18. This is belonging to the dynasty number 20. This is a queen. This is a normal, or sorry, an ordinary citizen. All these things I'm not going to say witness, can be detailed, for example, only from the first looks, or you need to spend days and days to know every single detail?
Yes and no. Yes, because we know now from the visual examination, we can tell you, of course, yani, as a relative dating, it dates back to, by example, the Roman period. But also, sometimes we can say from where in Egypt, from which location,
Oh.
depending on the mummification process, depending on the shape of the portrait, we can know that, which is also not only the date, but also the place of the workshop. This is, we can reach to it, but we working on the principle, we should make an integrated integrated approach to be totally sure. So we couldn't depend only on the visual examination, whatever the experience, but also we need to confirm that through using non-destructive instruments, non-destructive
A
analysis,
non-invasive procedure.
and the non-invasive procedures. Yes.
Dr. Abdurrahman, what was your feeling when touching the very first mummy in your career?
I was happy and very frightened, both.
Okay.
Yeah, I feeling very proud, and I feeling that I have this important civilization.
I belong to this
I belong to this,
civilization.
yeah, I belong to this civilization, but also I have the responsibility to preserve that and protect that. So it's a mix of feeling, but it's very important moment in my life.
Amen to that. Sir, there is now a process which is the transformation or transforming the Egyptian Museum, or revival of the Egyptian Museum. I'd like you, would you please, to detail us about the whole process?
Yeah, this is very important, in fact, because you know, our Egyptian museum, it's a very important museum. We call it is, and this is the truth, the mothers of all
The museum of all museums.
Yeah, exactly. And this transformation depend on dealing with international experience in 5 Europe countries, to making redisplay for the objects, and also, you know, these walls. Now we have the colors, the original colors for the museum. So it was very important to reach and save the authenticity of the museum and the authenticity of the objects. And really, it's an important project. It's a mega project. So, and now we can see the result concrete in front of us.
Amen to that. For you, sir, if I want to take a tour and to make sure that I'm not going to lose anything, your piece of advice, what to start with?
I think if you follow the visit way here, because when they planning to do that, we wanted to help the people to see all the masterpieces. So if you follow the instruction, you will see all the masterpieces and you will not lose anything. But of course, the Egyptian Museum needs days and days to see every single object, because really every single object I consider it's masterpiece.
Yeah, I want to know your feeling when now there are pieces which you participated in conserving them, and you see them on display. let me know your feeling when people just go and enjoy the pieces you have helped in restoring or conserving them.
Yeah, I'm feeling very happy and proud. In fact, I couldn't describe this feeling. You feel something like you have something of kind of euphoria that you reach to this.
Yeah.
So you become very happy.
Sir, have you been to other museums around the world?
Yeah, I visited many museums around
Such
the
as?
world. I visit Berlin Museum. I visit Carnegie Museum in United States. I visited many museums all over the world.
This is because I want to ask this as a question from a specialist and to have the answer from a specialist. I don't know why here I found that the atmosphere is different. Now or here, even smelling the air, breathing the air here is different. As if these pieces are feeling comfortable whenever they are in Cairo and in downtown Cairo at home. I don't know if this is the feeling you have or no.
Yeah, because you are on the land of this civilization. So there are a relation between the history and the object and the geography. So you're enjoying the theory and you're feeling that you are in the land of the civilization. So it's totally different. I do agree with you.
Do you have any projects you are working on right now?
Yeah, I'm doing a conservation for a gilded wood, and it's for
what, sir?
Gilded wood. It's a wood, and above it gold leaves, and it's very fantastic because it's dating back to before the armor, so it's pre-dynastic period, before even knowing the writing.
Mer or Mina.
Yeah.
But of course, since I'm talking to a specialist, he preferred to pronounce it the right way. Mer. I'm pronouncing it right?
Yeah, right.
Great.
Yeah. And what is important really in that from this object, even it's very, very old and very, very unique, but also depending on the study of it, we can somehow know how the ancient Egyptian, his mind is processed, his hand is going to be more accurate, and that's we can see from using very fine chisel in this time. So we can see that in the object. So it's very important also to understand the progress of the ancient Egyptian work and the craft. So I'm talking about piece dating back to more than 4,000 years ago.
Oh, wanna finish?
I
mean approximately, of course.
Approximately it needs about 1 month more to work. A month more to work.
Then in a month we are going to enjoy together a new piece.
Yeah, please do that.
Inshallah. Well, sir, I enjoyed my time, and inshallah, we are going to enjoy together more pieces. And thank you very much for your pivotal role in preserving, conserving, and the maintenance and the love you give to our pieces and to our ancient Egyptian civilization and our cultural heritage. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, right after the short break, I'm going to be back with more. Stay tuned.